Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى لا سيما المصطفى صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. My dear beloved brothers and sisters, welcome to another live episode of Ask Huda, and our phone numbers for those who would like to give us a call today. Area code 002 then 01005469 Alternatively, the landline is area code 002 then 0238555132. You can also email me directly, or you can send your question to my page, which is Dr. Muhammad Salah official. We didn't have any pending questions as far as the live calls from the previous episode, but mashallah we have a long list of email and WhatsApp questions. The first question is from Sister Jaka Yara. Sister Jaka says, my question is about zakah. I recently started agriculture and this is my first harvest. I harvested 100 bags or sacks of rice, and the watering system is rain water. What should I give out as zakah? As we discussed before in a long program which is known as Fiqh al-Zakah, the understanding of the ahkam of the zakah, for a person to be required to pay zakah, there are two conditions, which is, we're talking about for a Muslim to pay zakah, there are two conditions, which is al-nisab and al-hawl. This is for the wealth, for the saving, for the investment. In the case of the agriculture, there is al-nisab, which is the amount. Once you possess or once you harvest, if you are in agricultural business, once you harvest certain amount which was actually measured, not weighed. At the time of the Prophet ﷺ, in the sound hadith, he said, لَيْسَ فِي مَا دُونَ خَمْسَةِ أَوْسُقٍ مِنْ تَمْرٍ وَلَا حَبٍّ صَدَقَةٍ, which means if your harvest is less than 5 awsuq, then you don't have to pay any zakah, whether on dates, rice, grapes, raisin, or barley or wheat. So we're talking about 5 awsuq. What is al-wasaq? Al-wasaq is equivalent to 60 sa'. Is equivalent to 60 sa'. The sa' of the Prophet ﷺ again is a measure. I've explained that before, and I remember once I presented the mud of the Prophet ﷺ, which he used to use for measuring the grains. And now if I'm going to convert that 5 awsuq times 60 sa', it will be 300 sa'. That is an-nisab. So if your harvest is 300 sa' or more, then you should pay zakah. And what is the sa'? We don't measure the harvest now, rather we weigh. So as far as weight, the sa' is equivalent to 2 kilograms and 240 grams. So the 300 sa' times the 2.240 gram will come up with approximately 672 kilogram. If you're going to weigh your harvest of rice, as you said, we don't go by the bags or the sacks. Rather, when you put it on the scale and you weigh it, if it is 672 kilograms, then you should pay zakah on that. If it is less than that, let's say that if it is 660, then you don't have to pay any zakah on that. Only if it reaches an nisab, 672 kilogram approximately. By the measurement, 5 awsuq, according to the hadith. Translated into sa', that is 300 sa', 5 times 60, because each wasaq is equivalent to 60 sa'. As far as the amount, the rate, the zakah rate, the Prophet ﷺ explained that if the field and if your harvest have been watered and irrigated naturally by the sky water, you didn't make much of effort besides sowing the seed, you just harvested the grains, then in this case you pay 10% al-ushr. If you have made an effort, like you've used a machine in order to fetch water out of the water springs or the water wells, or transfer the water from the rivers in order to irrigate your land, your field, then it is nisful ushr, which will be only 5%. I hope the answer is clear. In our program, Fiqh of Zakah, we did explain the measurement and the weight for an nisab for those who are in the agricultural business, and also we explain the count of the number of heads for those who are in a livestock business, because also you have to have certain number of cattle in order to be required to pay zakah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Luqman from Singapore.
Hello, assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the program, Luqman.
Thank you. Sheikh, can I ask around 5 questions? Is it okay?
Okay, you're calling all the way from Singapore. Go ahead.
Okay. Actually, I asked 2 of these questions before in a previous episode.
Okay.
But I have some clarifications.
Sure.
Yeah, one of them is the gift given by the bank, but I still have doubts. The bank stated the gift is given before the contract, but the gift is not fixed. As in, they follow an interest rate, but the interest is not fixed. It changes every few months. Do you get my question? Hello?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead and just present all your 5 questions in a row, please.
Okay. Thank you. Then about the gift, yeah, it changes every few months. So is it considered interest or not? And I also, before the contract I signed, they told me that if I close the account before 6 months, I need to pay the penalty fee of $30. And I did close my account before 6 months. So I paid the $30 to the bank as a penalty fee. So is that penalty fee considered interest? And if it is considered interest, how do I deal with it? As in, do I need to take the $30 back? Yeah, that's my first 2 questions. And my third question is about taxes. Actually, what exactly is tax? And in Singapore, everything that you buy is included in goods and services tax, which is GST. Yeah, so you must pay taxes for everything. So, is it haram for us to pay taxes to the government? And every year, actually, for low or middle income families, the government gives back some of the taxes paid money to the low or middle income families for support, to give us back the money, $200 every year. So is it okay for us to spend the $200? As in, is it considered haram money, or is it okay for us to spend it? Okay, and my 4th question is about fasting. For example, if a person who is not practicing, he don't pray regularly, he pray on and off. But during the month of Ramadan, he prays all the 30 days. But some of the days he prayed only, for example, for Fajr. But some other days, the last 10 nights of the days, he prayed all the 5 prayers and also the Tarawih. And yeah, what is the ruling on, for example, a person who doesn't pray regularly, but he has missed some of his fast. As in, because I heard that people who miss the prayer deliberately, they cannot, they don't need to make qada for the missed prayers because they are in a state of disbelief. So what is the ruling on a person who fasts but prays on and off?
Okay, okay. I got your questions, Luqman.
And can you explain about the fidya? If the person who missed fasting around 7 years ago, what is how much must they pay for the fidya?
If he missed fasting around what?
If he missed fasting 7 years ago, 7 or 5 years back,
What was the
and
reason?
he wants to pay
What was the reason?
he missed it deliberately. Just he doesn't want to fast.
There's no reason why he missed or he skipped fasting. He just skipped it deliberately for no reason. I mean, he doesn't have a valid excuse.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
And my last question is.
You mean your
Actually,
seventh?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. My last question is about OCD. Actually, I'm actually suffering from OCD for a long time. Yeah, and can I know what are the methods to overcome the waswas and OCD?
Your OCD.
Because
Okay.
It's stressful for me. But alhamdulillah, the Huda TV programs have helped me a lot. So yeah, actually
You
I
mean
wanted to know.
it help you even with regards to your OCD?
Yeah, to my OCD, to
Really?
my because of the questions people ask about urine incontinence. I also have urine incontinence. So yeah, it helped me a lot in my ibadah, in learning knowledge. So yeah, may Allah bless you and the entire Huda team.
Ameen. And how do you view Huda TV in Singapore? Is it the live streaming online?
Yeah, from YouTube.
Okay, okay.
I would love if there's a Huda TV satellite TV program in Singapore, but I don't know if that is possible or not.
Okay, you can watch it through the Islam Box though. You can download it also on your phone app from the App Store. Barakallah fiqh, Luqman. Thank you so much. We've got 7 questions, mashallah. You keep us busy for some time. Well, I have a question. The first name is kind of long. It's hard for me to pronounce it, but the last name is Burhan. When I visit my family friends, they stay 140 kilometers away from my house. So should I pray 2 rak'ah qasr or normal? Yes, you should pray qasr and shorten your prayer because you're not going home. This is not where your wife and kids live. So if you're visiting your parents, if you're visiting your brothers and sisters, and it is a long distance such as 140 kilometers, as you said, then in this case, you're eligible to shorten the prayer soon as you leave the borders of your city or your town. Also, you may be eligible to combine the prayers, like if you're still traveling. May Allah the Almighty make it easy for us to comprehend His deen and act upon the guidance of the Quran and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Brother Luqman from Singapore. MashaAllah, long list of questions. He asked a question which was answered before, and now he's asking from a different angle. Some banks who are being presented as Islamic banks, they say we don't give you interest. Rather, we'll give you a hadiyah, a gift. But it is not specified. We don't say how much would it be. It would have been nice if instead we convert this into a murabaha contract. If you're certain that your investment is always profitable, so why don't you make it murabaha contract, where you say you put so much, you will get 30, 40, 80, 70, 10, 15% of the profit. and you may encounter the same percentage of loss in case that there is a loss. That is called murabaha, and this is absolutely permissible. Now, whenever I take a loan from a person, what do banks do? Banks basically, they operate based on taking money from people. You want to save your money somewhere, or you want to put it in a current account or in a saving account because you don't want to keep it home or beneath your pillow, so you want to keep it in the bank in a safe place. Great. Your money is now considered a loan to the bank, and that's why you do not just withdraw it whenever, especially whenever there is a gift or an interest, whichever name that they gave you, because if you decide to withdraw it before a due date, then you will have to pay penalty. But it's my money, so it's like a debt. فاكتبوه إذا تداينتم بدين إلى أجل مسمى فاكتبوه. So it's a debt. And now with regards to the debt, they take your money and they give it to somebody else as a loan. And they don't say to this other person, just give us a gift or a hadiyah whenever you want to, or if you like. Nope. They say, how much you want and what do you want it for? And this is our interest rate. You want to take it for a year, you will have to pay 20%, 18%, more or less. It depends. So the borrower signs an agreement that he has to pay that much interest. They don't say, just give us a gift, whichever gift you like. That doesn't happen. Why? Because the banking system is established around the idea of borrowing and lending. They take your money, they pay you interest, they lend it to somebody else, they charge a greater interest, and the difference is their profit. They give you a little bit of it, and it's not their money. It is the people's money, investors or savers. So when I say, please give me 100 grands, I need to buy a house or I need to buy a car, and I promise or we agree before the contract that when I give you the money back, I will give you something along with it as a gift. That's riba also. Why? Because there is a condition. We stipulated a condition. So we have to distinguish between two different transactions. If it is an investment, then let's phrase it properly. Murabaha contract. You put your money, you will get that much of the profit. And if there is loss, you will encounter the same percentage of the loss. The bank or the investor, they calculate how much expenses and overhead and salaries and all of that. So then they say, you will get that much of the profit, not of your capital sum. If anyone were to tell you that you'll get 15%, on what? On your capital sum. This is pure usury. But the difference between that and murabaha is that I will give you 50%, 20%, whichever percentage of the profit, if there is profit. What if there is no profit? If there is no profit and we break even, you get nothing. Murabaha. What if there is actually loss? The company or the bank or the investment, the project encountered loss. So the same percentage of the profit will apply in the same percentage in the case of the loss. So you would lose that much from your capital sum. This is halal, lawful, and this is a win-win situation. But with the hadiyah, the Prophet ﷺ predicted that the time will come where people will give the haram different names. So people actually accept the bribery, the rishwa, which is something, a major sin. Those who are involved in bribery are all accursed by Allah. Al-Rashi, wal-Murtashi, wal-Ra'ish. Even the connection, the intermediary, the one who's hooking the two people, an agent, together, is cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But people don't call it rishwa anymore. They call it a token of appreciation. They call it a gift. Whether you call it a token of appreciation or a gift or a souvenir, it is rishwa. This is how it is. Okay? So whether you call it a gift or interest, it is an interest because it doesn't fit the criterion of the gift. A gift is something that I give you without anticipating a return. And I do not necessarily promise you that if you do me something, I will give you a gift. Now it will be a compensation. Yani if I don't save my money in this bank, would the bank manager say, Mr. Luqman, congratulations, you won with us and we're going to give you a gift. What for? I don't even have an account with you. They will not do that to anyone, only to those who put the money with them. So some people like to hear the word Islamic and it will soothe them and it will make them feel better. Okay, we will call the interest hadiyah. So how is it now? And we will call the interest profit. How does it sound? Halal? It will not change the fact that it is not halal. In order to be halal, it is very simple. Let's do a murabaha contract. But the murabaha requires that we actually do a project. But the bank, what the bank does, the bank takes your money and it promises you to give you maybe an interest if you don't mind, or will give you a gift. And the difference between both, in fact, is that in the case of the gift, it is not determined or pre-agreed as far as the amount. This is at least for you. But the bankers already know how much they will give you beforehand. In the case of the murabaha, it is entirely different. I put my money, and whether with a person or with a firm, and they know that what to do. They are in business. They are going to buy lots. They are going to buy automobiles. They are going to invest in electronics, in mobile phones, in whatever. And through working and being experienced in this field, they know that we approximately generate a profit of 35% per se. Okay. You know, after deducting the overhead and the expenses, rent, salaries, and taxes and all of that, we're talking about net profit, maybe 20%, not bad. 20%, I will give you 10% of the profit. Why? Because I'm running the show. Are you happy with that? I agree. This is halal, brothers and sisters. This is halal. A percentage of the profit. We started the project. Everything was doing fine, and all of a sudden the market collapsed. So what happened is we all lose. I lose in proportion with the same percentage of the profit if there was going to be any profit. The second question is, we spoke about the penalty also of closing the account. If the penalty is fixed and they require you to keep your money for a certain amount, now if you're talking about murabaha, not about the hadiyah, okay? Because this question, even though it is linked to your first question, if I say it is okay, but the original condition it's not okay. Investing in that case is not okay. But when you do a business with some people and they say, okay, if you leave early, you will have to encounter the cost of closing the account, the paying the bankers, the paperwork, which approximately $30. No problem in this case. But if the original contract was valid. Thirdly, taxes, haram or halal. Okay, would it help to know that it is not permissible to charge taxes to the citizens? I mean, it is inescapable. You live in a state or in a country where upon purchasing anything, you pay taxes, sales tax. It is inevitable. What are you going to do? You're not going to buy? Before you take your salary, your employer has to deduct the taxes and pay it to the government. Okay? Initially, in a Muslim society, we have the system of zakah. But if the country is in dire need, and the country is running by justice, and the rulers are not stealing, and now the country is in a dilemma, we need to fund the army to defend our borders. The ruler in this case may apply taxes which suit the condition of the people. But if they are charging taxes, burdening people, and they are living luxurious life, that's a different story. So his question is, there is a tax return. Anyway, it is inevitable. Paying taxes is inevitable. The taxes were deducted before your salary was handed over to you. After the end of the year, the financial year, the government pays you back a tax return. It is your money, and now they figured out you're not making that much and you have a bunch of kids, you're eligible for that much. Is it halal? 100% lawful. Enjoy it. Don't forget, it's actually your money. Okay? The fifth question is about fasting. Somebody who fasts during Ramadan, normally he doesn't pray, but he prays in Ramadan, then in the last days he prays on and off. Ya akhi, the most important pillar of Islam is as-salah. And the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever abandons a prayer has disbelieved in Allah the Almighty. It's very simple English, and in Arabic it is very clear and obvious. It doesn't need an interpreter. It doesn't need somebody to explain what it means. And there are many other hadith in this regard, such as the difference between us and them, and the pronoun them here refers to non-Muslims, is the prayer. So whoever abandons it, whoever neglects his prayer, has indeed disbelieved in Allah the Almighty. Do we make any difference between a person who abandoned the prayer deliberately with no reason or out of laziness and a person who denies it? Obviously there is a difference. That will be discussed after this call, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Maya from the USA. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Maya.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How are you?
Fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
All right. I have a few questions for you.
Go ahead.
Okay. My first question is that since we're living in the Western, I want to know, like, when the kids are reaching the age of 18, in Islam, until when are we surely responsible for them?
In Islam, what should we do what?
Until when are we fully responsible for them?
Until what age we're responsible for our children, right?
All right.
But you suggested the age 18. So were you asking whether the age...
I don't know, no, because here, once the kids are 18, they do whatever they want to do. But I know in Islam it's different, but until what age, I don't know, maybe there's a certain age when, even Islamically speaking, we do not have any more control over them.
All right. Second question.
Understand my question?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I know exactly where you're coming from.
Okay. My second question is that when we are making salah, either fard or sunnah prayer, if we make a mistake, in a surah, are we supposed to make sahu or not?
Okay.
My third question is, the last time I called you and I asked you if there was anything wrong on joining the Marines for my son. But the thing is that I did make istikhara and I haven't made up my mind yet. But the thing is that I'm afraid that if he does go there, that he doesn't make his salat on time and he's going to need a lot of prayer on time and reading the Quran and studying it. So am I overprotective by thinking that, or should I just let him go?
Was your question about your son joining the army? Was that the question?
Yes. Yes, the last time he said there was nothing wrong for him to go.
How old is he?
He's going to be 18 next year.
Graduation of what, high school or college?
Excuse me?
Because your voice was interrupted, I said how old was he, and you mentioned something about graduation next year.
Yeah, he's going to be graduating next year, yes.
Graduating from what? College, high school, what is it?
No, he's graduating from high school, and then after that graduation, he want to join the Marines.
Okay, okay. Okay, your next question, please.
And I'm skeptical. Okay, and my next question is that my daughter is attending Saturday school, Arabic, and they do like before classes. They have all the kids line up like in a prayer area, and they make like tashahud, and then they make them recite Fatiha and Kursi, and then they make exercises like arm up and down, and during those exercises they are making tahleel, tahmeed, and etc. Is that allowed, or is nothing wrong with that?
Okay, I got your question, but the format, do they have a certain number to do that, or how do they do it?
No, she said that they only said tashahud once and Fatiha once, Kursi also. And then the exercise that's like, I don't know, maybe for a few minutes, you're just making those arm exercises with Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar.
That is after every prayer, you mean?
No, not before the classes start.
Ah, before the class
not even
starts.
a prayer time, you just before the... All right.
Okay, I got before the class starts.
All right.
All right. Next, do you have any questions?
All right.
Done?
No, I mean, this is another question that is going to take too much time, so I'm going to call next time, inshallah.
No problem, no problem. And collect my number, Sister Maya. Last time I told you so. You said there is something, a personal question with regards to the son. So I'll be more than happy, inshallah, if you collect my number from the control, and you can call me soon after the program, inshallah. Brothers and sisters, we'll take a short break and we'll be back, inshallah, in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
Huda TV strives to remain the premier English language Islamic channel in the world, and to do so, we need your input. Send us your thoughts, suggestions and feedback through email at feedback@hoda.tv. Huda TV is committed to helping others, so why not help Huda TV share the message of Islam worldwide? Take part in helping spread the authentic message of Islam based on the Quran and the Sunnah throughout the world by sponsoring Huda TV. Don't miss this unique opportunity to gain the reward from Allah.
Muhammad, the most common name in the world. Why were so many parents interested and still are interested in naming the children Muhammad? What are examples of his love, his compassion, his mercy, his dedication, his sincerity, his bravery? How did he balance between private life and the public sphere of life? Why is he known as the greatest mercy sent to humankind? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Join us as we learn more about the balanced and beautiful personality of perfection, Muhammad.
TV commercials motivate viewers into immediate action and to sway consumer loyalty from one brand or service to the other. That's why we're here for you, to help you sell your products and services by using creative ideas that bring life into your own TV commercial. Advertise your business and branded products and services on Huda TV. We will offer you fast-paced and energetic 30-second affordable TV spots. Advertise on Huda TV. Acquire fresh customers and stay within your budget. For more info or to receive a quote, please send your inquiries to advert@Huda TV. Huda TV.
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن ولو كان من عند غير الله لوجدوا فيه اختلافا كثيرا.
We all know that a person's iman increases and decreases, and the best way to increase your iman is through the Quran.
to contemplate, to reflect, to ponder over the verses of the Quran.
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن ولو كان من عند غير الله لوجدوا فيه اختلافا كثيرا.
In this program, we will listen to the Quran first, and that should soften our hearts. And then once we get to know the meanings and contemplate over these meanings, then we can change by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا.
Join us on Quran Circle 2 and increase your iman.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Brother Luqman from Singapore is remaining two questions. One was about a person who fasts during Ramadan, but he prays on and off. We mentioned the hadith earlier that the Prophet ﷺ said the difference between us and non-Muslims is a prayer, and whoever does not pray, he is one of them. He is one of the non-Muslims. This is a very serious matter. It is not to be taken lightly. And if a person is taking the prayer lightly and he dies in this condition, he is actually exposing himself to the risk of dying in a state of non-Islam. And this is very dangerous. When a person is encountering the hardship of fasting during Ramadan, why are you fasting? Because fasting is mandatory, subhanallah. What is easier than fasting is a prayer, and it is mandatory. And its emphasis is way greater than the emphasis of any other act of worship. It is the most important pillar of the deen, and it is the greatest act of worship. So alhamdulillah, if the person is eager to fast, then in this case he should also maintain the prayer on regular times. Allah the Almighty in Surah Rum, in Surah Maryam, warned against delaying the prayer from its fixed time. When he said, فَخَلَفَ مِنْ بَعْدِهِمْ خَلْفٌ أَضَاعُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَاتَّبَعُوا الشَّهَوَاتِ فَسَوْفَ يَلْقَوْنَ غَيًّا. It's very serious. There is a severe torment in hell for those who delay the prayer from its fixed time. Because Allah the Almighty said in another ayah, إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ كَانَتْ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ كِتَابًا مَوْقُوتًا. The prayer has been mandated upon the believers to be offered during fixed times. Delaying a single prayer from its fixed time until the time of the following prayer has entered, or until the time of the prayer is out, such as in Fajr. Not necessarily you have to wait until the following prayer, but until sunrise deliberately is a major sin which incurs Allah's anger and wrath. So please, every Muslim, you yourselves should understand that the connection between you and your Creator must be maintained on a daily basis and on time. And if you know somebody whom he fasts, but he is negligent when it comes to the prayer, or he prays only during Ramadan, then he neglects his prayer after Ramadan, that means that the person is not too evil, not too bad. He is not abandoning the deen altogether. But there is a possibility that you approach him and you remind him, as I mentioned in the previous ayat and ahadith, it's very dangerous, so that he would maintain the prayer afterward on a regular basis. If one doesn't pray and he fasts, his fasting is not accepted because he is not praying. With regards to the fidya, he said somebody did not fast 7 years ago and he wants to know about the fidya. Well, if somebody deliberately skipped fasting, then he's required to make up this fasting And if somebody was sick or traveling and he was exempt from fasting because of sickness and traveling, and now he's resident and he feels better, he is required to make up the missed fasting. Al-fidya is only prescribed if the person is experiencing a state of illness which is chronic. He lives with it. That's why we say a pregnant woman and a breastfeeding woman, during the month of Ramadan, you're allowed to break your fast, you're allowed to eat and drink once you're advised by your doctor, or if you feel that weak and you can't continue. But you have to make up those days which you missed some other days once you deliver and you're able to fast. Assalamu alaikum. Afnan from United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you, Sheikh Salah?
Doing fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
I've got only one question.
Sure.
That is, when somebody is sick, and some people will say, may Allah give him shifa. And someone will say, may Allah give him shafa. So I just wanted to clear the doubt, which is the correct one, shifa or shafa?
The word shafa is entirely different than shifa. In Surah Al Imran, Allah the Almighty says, كنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم منها. The ayah of واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا. Here is الشفا. الشفا is the edge. So if I keep that mug on the edge, it may fall. That's shafa. But shifa means cure. And the dua is اشفي شفاء لا يغادر سقما. Give a cure that does not leave any sickness. Okay? So ash-shafa, as in the ayah, remember you are on the edge of a pit of fire. That is shafa. That is the edge of the table for innocence. That's shafa. So shifa is different than shafa. Barakallahu feekum. And now with the MashaAllah. Yeah, his seventh question was about OCD. I personally like to respect science, medicine. And I understand that there is a condition which is diagnosed as OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. If this diagnosis is clinical, then besides making dua and besides asking Allah to cure the person and besides reciting your adhkar and seeking refuge with Allah against Satan, you should seek the medication. If there is definitely a medication in order to make up for the a deficiency in the brain. You got to take that medication and take it on time. Some people, by the grace of Allah, have been maybe misdiagnosed or misdiagnosed because of the way they narrate to the psychiatrist, this is my condition, blah, blah, blah. So they give them the medication. And it was simply waswasa. And that is entirely different than the OCD. And waswasa, it happens to every ordinary person, but if he lets go, it can grow bigger and it can engulf him, it can devour him and ruin his or her life. It begins with maybe having doubt concerning, did I wash my arm in wudu? Did I wipe over my hair? Did I wash my left foot? And if you let go, it will happen in the prayer, and it will happen in every single wudu, and it will happen in every single act of worship. So seize it before it grows bigger and it becomes dangerous. And say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I also advise that you frequently recite this beautiful dua, which helps a great deal. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is no mighty, no power but with Allah the Almighty. This dua came down from heaven, from a treasure beneath the throne of the most beneficent. If it is something clinical, please take the medication on time, in addition to reciting your adhkar, and hope inshallah you feel better. May Allah give you shifa. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Abdul Qadir from United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sheikh?
Fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, brother.
So I have a question on the type of transaction that we do. Now, today we are living in the world of smartphones where almost everybody has smartphones, and there are lots of mobile apps through which we can, make transactions. The question here is, there are several apps, and these apps, the companies, they have tie-ups with many retail outlets, like it can be petrol pumps, it can be grocery shop, it can be supermarkets. So nowadays, what I do is I use these apps to make some transactions just purely for the sake of convenience. For example, instead of me getting down the car and then making the payment for the fuel at the fuel station, I sit in the car and I can make the payment online. So purely for the sake of convenience, I use these apps. Is it allowed? Question.
And
No.
you pay some fees for that, right?
No, there is no extra charges for that. These apps are linked with my credit cards.
Will you purchase the app itself?
No, I don't purchase this app. This is a free app. I just have to download and install it on my smartphone. This app is linked to my credit card, and as and when I make a transaction, be it at petrol station or at grocery shop or at, when I buy some clothes.
So then you're asking about whether it's permissible not to use the app. You're rather asking about the credit card, because the app is for free and it doesn't charge you anything once it processes your transaction.
No, there is no extra charge.
Then,
the app is free.
then there is no question concerning the app.
The question is here. The question is these apps like there is competition. There are several apps in the market, so obviously there is competition. So these apps, they try to give some discounts, some like if I spend, let's say, 1,000 dirhams, I get some 10 dirhams discount in the coffee shop, like that. So while I'm not using this app for the sake of those discounts, I just want to be sure. Like the question is in my mind is there any ruling? Is it halal? Is it allowed?
Using those apps is no problem. It's permissible. And even when an app it gives you a gift, perhaps because they share your information, there are no gifts. There is nothing for free in today's world, okay? Especially in the technology world. There is nothing for free. The WhatsApp, the Facebook, and all of that, you think that is for free. No, they sell you information. So when they give you a bonus, when they give you a credit, when they give you a break, whenever you make a transaction, enjoy it, no problem. Because you're not paying in order to get a service and enter a drawing or anything like that. Your question rather should be with regards to using the credit card, and we answered that before, that if it is something that inevitable and you have to use it, just make certain that you should pay before the due date, or link the credit card payment to your saving account, so they would have a direct withdrawal even without your consent before the due date. But for the use of those apps, according to the way you explained it, I don't have any problem with that, and I think it is lawful. Barakallahu feek. Brother Abdul Qadir. Sister Maya from the USA, her first question about at what age the parents will not be responsible anymore for their children. Surah Al-Tahrim, verse number 6. Allah the Almighty says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةُ. O you who believe, protect yourselves and your family members. Protect yourselves and your family members. Everyone who is living under your roof, everyone who is under your guardianship is your responsibility. It is not by age. So sometimes in some societies, they put a certain age, after that they have a financial independence and they can get married on their own, and they are perceived as adults. They have to present their ID card in order to buy beer or liquor or tobacco. This is not like that in Islam. In Islam, your son, your daughter is now 21, grown up, is married and have kids. You are in charge of guiding them, advising them, supporting them. We're family. But sometimes at the age of 14, the kid is not just naughty, is wicked, and he left home. Even though you're trying your best to make their life easy and assist them, but they are wicked. There are some kids like that. Maybe because of the bad company. Whenever you live in a free country, you have no control over your children. A friend of mine, big time priest, PhD holder in theology, every time I ask him about himself and his family, he used to have one girl, and he would say, oh, she's good until she's 14. She was a little girl still, but being a religious person, being a leader of a church, he was anticipating the worst to come. Muhammad, she's good until she's 14. No, we anticipate the best, and we hope that Allah the Almighty will protect our children. And in every prayer we say, رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. Nuh's son was grown up, and Nuh calls upon him, Ya Bunay. Bunay is a word of love, calling upon his son, my beloved son, Irkam ma'ana. Come on board. Come with us in order to be saved. Ibrahim alayhi salam was not in a charge for his father. I'm not in a charge for the father's guidance. I'm under his guardianship. And Ibrahim calls upon his son, Ya abati. So each one of us is in a charge. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. We don't say at what age they are on their own. There is no age limit. There is no age limit. That we must continue to advise, to guide, to enjoin what is good, to assist financially, morally, physically, because we're family. I want to see all my offspring. I want to see my spouse. I want to see my immediate family and those who are even my neighbors, everyone in paradise. So that's why I got to continue doing what Allah the Almighty ordered me to do. Your question should be, what if I raise my son to the best way that I can possibly do, and they were righteous, and for some reason they went astray? You're not blameworthy. That is the question. I'm not blameworthy, because definitely Nuh alayhi salam tried his utmost with his son, and no doubt that he did not save an effort for 950 years giving da'wah to others. Why not his son? Why not his wife? But it just didn't happen. So he's not liable. When you deliver, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, مَا عَلَى الرَّسُولِ إِلَّا الْبَلَاغِ. The duty of the messenger is just to convey. Likewise with your children, especially in a society where you know that you can only advise, but there is no way that you can shove it down your throat and control their guidance physically. May Allah the Almighty make it easy for all of us, guide and protect all our children. Allahumma ameen. And gather us by His mercy in His paradise. Inshallah, Sister Maya, in the following episode, I would answer your questions, but also if you give me a call after the program, we'll be happy to follow up with you. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and